Umsakazo wakhe Izwi Lomzansi ku-90.0 FM. Sokhona ke upresident uVuyo Zungula uthena ngingasho ukuthi uvuyo lwethu uthenga ngithi uVuyo Zungula. President asikubingelele kunjani?
Siyabingelela ninjani baba?
No, ihamba kahle. So zonke izinto zihamba kahle.
Kakuhle kakhulu.
Yeah.
ATM yakhula.
Yeah.
Abantu bayilalele ATM bayitshela ukuthi mayithini. ATM yenza lento itshelwa ngabantu that is why ikhulu.
So eParliament nathola ama-seats amangaka awu2.
Awu2 eParliament, 1 eKZN, 1 eEastern Cape.
Okay. Why eKZN nase Eastern Cape ninama seats because lokho kuchaza ukuthi kushuthi ninabo abantu. Why nidominate kakhulu kulezi indawo lezi ezu2?
Lana eKZN kunabantu abaningi abayi-understandileyo ukuthi ATM ingani. Iyafana nase Eastern Cape nakwezinye ama provinces abantu bayi-understandile but kancane. That is why singakhonanga ukungena kwi provincial legislatures.
Ingani ATM mhlawumbe mongakaphezulu ngisho ngoba if ukuthi ke sikhumbula kahle that time kuqala iATM kwaba nenkinga ezabakhona yakhumbula ngesikhathi kubanga indaba yobuholi, right? And then kwaba khona abathi ATM aligned with abanye babaholi beANC, I understand. So kwakunaleyo confusion leyo eyayikade ikhona.
iATM inhlangano esungulwe ngabantu who are not involved in politics, ngabantu bamasonto, ngamakhosi, ngabantu nje jikelele. Kuba ibikhuluma exactly lezi zinto zifunwa ngabantu. Number 2, ibisiza nemessage apho isithi masibeka abantu balelizwe phambili. Now mawubheka ubuholi beATM abuna corruption scandals, akwazi ukuthi uzobangcolisa njani. That is why bathenga abantu ukuthi baqale inkulumo ezingekho ukuba iATM aligned nabantu abathize beANC. That is why when ANC yenza commission to investigate lezo claims leyo yatholakala ukuthi ayikho yonke lonto. Nathi siATM kudala sisho ukuthi awukhona uku-accuse umuntu since 2018 ungavezi neproof eyodwa. Makube khona at least into eyodwa because mina bathi akhona iphephandaba lathi mina ngi-former DA leader, whereas I've never been involved in politics. So lana ku politics lapha eSouth Africa kunento embenzekayo whereby amaqembu abusayo o anamandla azame ukudestroy ama political party asafikayo using propaganda, using media. So iATM sambulela uNkulunkulu ukuthi wasivikela sikhona manje abantu basikholela ukuthi singobani simeleni.
Are you happy ngendlela uhulumeni obusayo njengamanje ahandlisha ngakhona indaba ye-COVID-19?
Asikho happy neze masiqala ukuthi uthathe isikhathi ukuthi avale ama borders because iSouth Africa did not have iCovid iqhamuke kubantu abaqhamuke eItaly. Now uhulumeni ubonile ukuthi kwenzeka ntoni eChina, ubonile ukuthi from China iye njani eNgilani, from eChina iye njani eItaly, from Italy iye njani in America. So yena instead of ukuba avala ama border avikele iSouth Africa uye wavula because efuna uprotector ama profits zakhe which is on their personal level. Now mayiqala ke ngoku the lockdown itself, we did not have uhulumeni osegunyeni and onamagunya. What I'm trying to say is that a government that is in authority and ayisebenzisayo authority. Italy makune COVID phana into bayenza is that the government says lana Nina banks, you are not going to charge abantu ama installments for the next 3 months because abantu bahlezi emakhaya basebenzi. Nina abantu for ama landlords anuzucharge irent ebantwini because abantu abasebenzi. Lana eSouth Africa government did not intervene kwi private sector. That is why uzoba nabantu were reduced ama salary wabo, abanye lost their jobs, but they were still expected to pay ama rent, ama car installments, ama insurance and all of those things. Eyogcina into yilena ye vaccine apho uhulumeni aqamba amanga athi une vaccine, akho vaccine ekhoyo. Lana you've got a study enziwa nguJohnson & Johnson okubheka ukuthi lento abazanayo ingabe iyasebenza na okanye ayisebenzi. However uhulumeni mayikhuluma ebantwini uthi hayi lena i-vaccine. So that is why we are not happy. Yokugcina engicabangayo manje ilena yama lockdown regulations angenzi sense, because abantu besonto kuthiwa mabahlali bebawu-50. However, amabhanoyi bayakwazi ukhweba bayi-300 kwindawo kuphuzwa kuzo beba more than 1,000. Akho mask, akho social distancing, but kwindawo apho abantu babehave, because mawungena esontweni umuntu uhlezi esitulweni sakhe umamela ilizwi ugqoke imask so akho uyakwazi ku social distance. But mawusiya kwindawo kuphuzwa kuyona uthola ukuthi lana akho social distancing. So uyabona ukuthi kunento uhulumeni abacinezela abantu bamasonto. That is why thina si-ATM siye enkantolo to say we want 50% of venue capacity to be allowed for amasonto ukuze abantu bakhululeke. Cela ukhumbule umsakazo ukuthi abantu baqale bagule ngokwengqondo before bagule physical abanye. That is why you had more than 2,000 yabantu abazibulalayo during this time ye-COVID, because umuntu akana indlela yokuphila. Abanye do not afford ama-psychologists. So umuntu maye esontweni ufumana ukuphila okuningi. That is why thina si-ATM sisithi amasonto must be allowed to operate ngama-rules nama-regulations enza sense, not ama-regulations awacinezelayo.
Now kukhona abapropose ukutheni njengoba kuza ama-Easter, right? Easter weekend ngiyazi kutheni ke inthinta kakhulu ke nina njenge ATM ezike uthe isisekelo senu kakhulukazi ke ihibandla. So i-proposal ithi kufanele aqiniswe ama-regulations kule ya weekend because ila abantu ababa uvanzi khona, right? So uma nyenkantolo niyothini?
Lana enkantolo sithi ama-regulations must allow for 50% of venue capacity ivunyelwe for emasontweni. Apha bawuvulela umzekelo utywala and abantu kudala bephuza, kudala besenza yonke lento. Akho umuntu othi hayi umzekelo kunama super spreader and nale language bakhuluma ngayo ama super spreader. When bona as ugovernment ophetheyo unama funerals bagcwela babe in thousands abakhuluma as if they are super spreaders, but when abantu abahluphekayo are having funerals bona they are limited to 50. So there is no scientific evidence ebonisayo ukuthi amasonto are super spreaders, because social distance is maintained, abantu basanitizer, abantu bagqoka ama mask, abantu bayabehave. So thina sihambisana nento ukuthi nge-Easter abantu mabavalelwe, because lana kukuvalelwa amalungelo abo ukuthi bakhonze freely. That is what is happening, and CATM asihambisana lokho.
So you guys, you are one of the few political parties abavotile parliament against ukubhekwa kukamvikeli womphakathi ekutheni ulungele yini ekutheni ahlale kusona isahlalo lesi noma ngamelekele le office. Why?
Umvikeli womphakathi uzibonakalisile ukuthi firstly uyawazi umsebenzi wakhe, number 2 ethical. Ever since yaba khona la office umvikeli womphakathi zange yafumana a clean audit. Ibiqala ufumana i-clean audit ngaye mu-advocate Mkhwebane. Eyosibili into wenza ama-cases amaningi. The only cases apho bamlandela ngawo ngalama cases adibanisa o-president no minister, meaning abantu abanamandla, abane-connections. That is why besebenzisa inkantolo to try and discredit and destroy umvikeli womphakathi. Because utuma ubheka, for example, the manner in which ama-judges are handlisha i-cases kamvikeli womphakathi. When it was advocate Madonsela bebesithi i-public protector's report it is binding. Makukhulunywa ngo-advocate Mkhwebane, the very same courts bakhuli language yohlukile. When u-advocate Madonsela wayesithi wa instructor another institution or another arm of the state, it was well and good. That is why sine commission of inquiry whereby umengameli waphoqwa and waphoqa ukuthi mabe ngu chief justice ozokhetha ukuthi ibe ngubani judge that will oversee. It was never a problem. But when advocate Mkhwebane is in doing the same thing to another arm of the state, which is parliament, bakhuluma into engekhoyo ethi akanawo ama powers. So lana kufuneka kubheka ukuthi why laba bantu bane power bevunyelwe ukuthi basuppresse bacinezela abantu abenza umsebenzi wabo.
Are you guys supporting the state capture inquiry? And kule case njengamanje where sibona a former leader edelela i-constitution yaseNingizimu Afrika. What is your take as EFF kulolo daba?
ATM.
Sorry. ATM, thank you.
I-Commission of Inquiry mayisekelwa isekela ukuthi to investigate corruption in the public sector.
Yeah.
It was ayisekelwa ukuthi investigate abantu abathize. I-corruption ayinamuntu uthize, ayinabala, i-corruption. However, how the State Capture Commission ngohlobo i-operate ngayo yenza umuntu ukuthi azibuze ukuthi inhloso yayo is it still to investigate i-corruption now? Because lana into si-observe thina si-ATM is that ma umuntu pha kwi-corruption kwi-State Capture Commission bengathi abamthandi, they regard lo muntu lowo as if mayisiza ne-evidence mayiscrutinize. But abanye abantu mabekhuluma phayana i-evidence abazanayo okanye ma-submissions abazanawo bawathatha as iqiniso, there's no need to be verified. That is the first issue. So that is why thina sisithi i-State Capture Commission mayilandele inkohlakalo, ingalandeli abantu abathize. Mayilandele abantu abathize, then ayikho objective and it's not in the best interests abantu balana eSouth Africa.
Okay.
Udaba lo baba oncamalala lana kufuneka i-constitution ivikele wonke umuntu whether uyathandwa okanye akathandwa. I-constitution must be indawo yokubalekela wonke umuntu. Now ukuba umuntu engavisisani into ethize uyakwazi kuye enkantolo athi angizwani no judge othile ngezizathu ezithize. Now kufuneka inkantolo ilalele lantu and awukwazi as a judge to take a decision kwinto affecta wena, which is something that we've seen ku Judge Zondo mayisithi yena akekho bias. You can't be the referee and the player at the same time. That is what Judge Zondo has been doing. That is why befamba the Constitutional Court iya allow that process ukuthi mayihlale e-High Court ilalele this thing before yona intervene bubulungisa obo and into ezokwenza kube khona ukuthula. However, if the Constitutional Court or the State Capture Commission or Judge Zondo azama intervene and because emasemaduzane na Constitutional Court enza indlela ethize, then it's going to cause a conflict ibe ngathi kune judicial crisis, whereas kunama process akhoyo ngokwe constitution, abantu banama rights akhoyo ngokwe constitution. As the ATM simele ama rights awo wonke umbani walana eSouth Africa.
Umbuzo ogcina lo oqhamuka kumina, right? Uzophendula bese ke siye endabeni nezemidlalo. Mesibuya umlaleli useqondene nawe ubuza umbuzo. Sine issue yabantu bokufika eNingizimu Afrika. Kunendawo wese ku crowded ngalendlela ukuthi wena as umuntu wale Ningizimu Afrika awusakwazi ukuya kuyona ngoba usuyasaba. Akuliyanisele eThekwini kune point. Kunendawo lapha kuRasel. So lezi ndawo awusakwazi ukuhamba kuzona ukhululeke simply because sezi crowded ngabantu bokufika and ilezi ndawo lezi kuthiwa zinobugebengu khona kakhulu. Istand se ATM kwindaba yabantu bokufika eNingizimu Afrika sithini?
CATM sesidebatile eParliament sabhalela our minister or president sisikhuluma into ethi umuntu wokufika makafike lana eSouth Africa according to umthetho. Umuntu akakwazi ujumpa afike lana engaziwa because my commit ama crime awukwazi nomlandelela ukuthi ngubani na. Ngangenza umzekelo Eastern Cape kunomfana lana oqhamuka eZimbabwe owabulala 6 yabantu, umama nengane zakhe ezi5 because he's illegal in the country. It was difficult ukumtracer, bambhaqe cishe nje abaleke going back to Zimbabwe. Sibonile ukuthi uBushiri ukuthi wenze njani ukuthi ukhonile ubaleka and wa evade ijustice. So from an immigration perspective umuntu must come to South Africa legally. Eyesibili into esikhulumayo nginto yokudayisa. Umthetho uyasho lana ukuthi ukuba uqhamuka kwelinye ilizwe ufuna ukuzalana eSouth Africa, you must invest a minimum of 5 million, employ at least 60% yabantu to be South African. Eyogcina you must make sure ukuthi ubhadala i-tax and abantu bokufika abayenzi lonto. Akusoze umtshela ukuthi umuntu odayisa estratweni uinveste 5 million okanye umuntu olana ePoint unesitolo se5 million okanye ispaza elokishini sese5 million. So bophule umthetho ngumthetho wonke for wonke umuntu whether is South African or not South African. Eyogcina makhuluma ngoku employ abantu bokufika, the law iti you must only employ umuntu oqhamuka from outside if awukhona uthola umuntu walana eSouth Africa. Imbi ilinyala yinto sina si-ATM esiyilwayo ukuba ubantu bangaphandle bafike benza imisebenzi. Uthola ukuthi kunama industry, for example hospitality, truck driving, kunama industry apha awukhona uthola abantu balana eSouth Africa. That is why thina si-ATM sithi sisongena kumasipala sizo enforce existing legislation. Asozukwenza into entsha because umthetho uthi ukuba uyafika lana uqhamuka from outside, you are illegal in the country, uphula umthetho ufuna ukuboshiwe udeport. Similarly, if you are trader uyadayisa without uba ube lana ngokomthetho. Number 2 investanga imali ephelele kufuneka uboshiwe. So that is why thina si-ATM sizimisele to enforce yonke lento, because ufuna ilungisa lento. The reason why abantu end up taking the law into their own hands, it is because the government is failing. That is why thina si-ATM was saying uhulumeni mayisebenza umsebenzi wakhe abophe abantu abaphule umthetho. There won't be a need for umphakathi enze izinto apha kuzochitheka igazi. And thina we are going to be that government ezobopha wonke umuntu ophula umthetho, whether wala eSouth Africa or uqhamuka ngaphandle.
Political Party Funding Act niyayisupport?
Siyayisupport kakhulu. Yenza ukuba kube ne-transparency. Asifuni lana abantu abazothi bakhankase bathi sivotele sokwenza lena, mabefika in government bafike balawulwe ngalama funders abo. That is why thina si-ATM sifunda by ordinary citizens, because we identified ukuthi eyona nkinga ekhoyo lana eSouth Africa ngabantu, it is political parties abanikezwe imali, because umuntu makunikeza ukudla uyakucontrola. Thina sifuna ucontrolwa or sicontrolwa ngabantu yabantu balapha eSouth Africa, sicontrolwa intando yeningi, asicontrolwa ngamafanda.
Vuyo Zungula, President we-ATM, umsakazi wakhe Izwi Lomzansi 98.0 FM. Masibuya kuthandeka zike sokuthola indawo manje nomntwana, masibuya kuthandeka nezemidlalo, sikunikeza wena ke mlaleli yezike ukuthi ubuze umbuzo ofisa ke ukubuza.
We discuss politics, current affairs and help each other. Feel the difference.
Alright, kumsakazo wakho wazo izingxoxo Izwi Lomzansi ku 98.0 FM. Ngikukhumbuze sine app yethu Izwi 98 FM. Downloadele app ubeke nayo iyakulekelela ngoba uyakwazi ukuthola noma ngabe nini, noma ngabe ke kuphi, noma ngabe ke ingasikhatsini. Interview yesinayo I think after 9 izobeke isikhona ke i podcast ke yakhona ke yona app yethu, so kuzoba lula ke kuwena. So Izwi 98 FM download so that ke uzoba ke na isikhatsi sakho. Ngu-837 number yethu ngu-0604807164 kumsakazo wakho wazo izingxoxo Izwi Lomzansi. Asiqale ngawe, sawubona kunjani?
Awu, ngiyabingelela, niyaphila?
Siyaphila baba.
Ngokwamhlungu isibongo. Ngiyajabulela inkulumo zika baba lo we-ATM. Bengifisa ukuzwa mina ukuthi mayelana nale corruption eyenzeka lapha enkantolo, kahle kahle ngalimala emsebenzini ngo November mhla 1 2017. Okay, kuningi okwenzekile kuze kuzofika la ngo 2020 mhla March mhla 6 inkantolo ithi icala likho, kodwa kusho ukuthi into engayibona yenzeka ngoba ngangimele ummeli kahulumeni nomqashi basondela lapha phambili kuyijaji, lobijaji ehlezi lapha phezulu, kwakhulunyelwa phansi. Emva kwaloko kwasekuthiwa ebuye ezodlula kumina ummeli wathi icala liphelile. Ngikutshelile ngathi icala alikho, liphelile icala. Ngisuke lapho ngihamba ngiye kumphathi wabo, sengiyambuza ngithi mina ngithi kuyena angijabulanga ngendlela engiphathe.
Okay, ngamukela umhlungu, kulungile. Bathi ngiyacabanga ukuthi ke indaba ine inkohlakalo, right? Kulungile ke. Angisahlambi ibatch yabantu mhlamba abawu4, so that ngibuzo soyiphendula ke isihlangene. Number yethu ngu-0604807164. Asikubingelele futhi nawe, sawubona kunjani?
Sawubona nje manje nobaba upresident we-KM lapha.
Molo baba.
Ushoba la ndwethu. Ubaba bengimbuza indaba ye-unemployment ukuthi kwanto wabusengiphendule lapho. Ngifuna ukubuza la ku-education system, mhlawumbe babona kanjani kwezemfundo ku-education system, ngoba ngibona abantwana bafuna abantwana abafundi insuku engaphelele kwathiwa igcwele phezulu kakhulu noma selefile igciwane asafundisi kwabantwana engaphelele ukuthi babebuke nezinkulu ihamba kahle nanokuthi siyasabona yakuthi ukhona indawo la abantwana khona bayekoleni besawela ngeintambo emfuleni uthambe nje iqembu libusawo lisalele ngumsebenzi kanti ubona mabengathathi intambo bona bangamisa kanjani bala ne-education bafuna ukubuza lapho nje kubaba kufanele ngiyabonga kakhulu
shabab sabonga kakhulu education system kanye ne-corruption 840 kumsakazo wakho izwi Lomzansi ku 98.0 FM 0604807164 sawubona kunjani uyaphila
yebo baba uJamani uyaphila
molo baba
ya uyaphila uJamani ngibulise nalapho umholo we-ATM mina mcobhuthe into engicela ngibuza lapho umtata loyo we-ATM ukuthi lebenzeka bethola mhlawumbe bewina unomasipala babaphathayo nje bafika kuma-election bazoyisebenzisa na lento yama-tender system achaphaza imali abafaka ngibese ngicela kuwe ukuthi umthumayeza utatshalonge e-app yomsakazo njengoba beku-national funeka njengoba sizithethayo izwi Lomzansi nabo bakhona njengoba i-app yakwazi ukuthi uyithole into noba seyidlule emsakazweni ngiyabonga
ushayile impela. Alright, 841 msakazo ku-98.0 FM izumehluko 0604807164 kumsakazo wakho wazo izingxoxo izwi Lomzansi ku 98.0 FM. Sawubona kunjani sakubingelela?
Siyaphila wendlo.
Siyaphila ba?
Siyaphila mfethu umakhale ekhithini ngomduka afika dabeke sub-16.
Sure.
Hayi mfethu. Ngibonga ukuthola ithuba. Ake ngibingelele lapho upresident we-ATM ubaba ukhuluma kahle kakhulu akaqali ukukhuluma kahle kanje mfowethu uyabona ukube kuthiwa bonke abaholi bakhuluma njenganayo umholi mayisengenile umese yakwazi ukuthi enze exactly into le abayikhulumayo ngicela ungibuzele ukuthi ngibona ngathi sebelethi akube kuthiwa uzamile ukuthi kuma province ukuthi ngokwamawa ezama ukungena ngokwamawadi kuma region ekezama ukuthi mayithumela abantu laba akanabo lokhuzeni eqembini lakhe ebatshela ukuthi abengenelele emawadini bezama ukuthola ukuthi bengasebenza kanjani ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe kukhona kuningi angakwazi ukuthi ekwenze ngoba ngathi ngifonile mina ngiyikhalela ngokwethu thina bomalume ekusebenza enhlanganweni yomalume wathi ake nje lapha e-ofisini labo lapha ePine Town kwakhona osisi engabafika South-African esifana nabo ngithi uJanuary noma uFebruary ngayithatha inamba futhi ngayilahla bethi ake ngizame ukuthi ngibabone ngibathe sinenkinga eziningi futhi nababona ukuthi ayilinye iCovid kwana mangiqoka into ka-ANC nabo ngabajabulela nje kwaphela uma nihlangana ukuthi uyi-ANC uyi-IFP wini khombe sijabulelana ukuthi kuphi asingasizana khona samakhombe njengoba sixakekile mhlambe noma ngabe ngangenelela kule nhlangano yothi yomalume ngoba asinaliwe nje komalume asazona ukuthi siyini mhlambe kukhona abangageyini
so no kulungile sikuzwile siyabonga kakhulu. Alright, 843 ngithola ukugcina bese ke siphosa imibuzo yakho lazi-ke kuyena ke upresident we-ATM kumsakazo wakho wazo izingxoxo izwi Lomzansi ku 98.0 FM izwa umehluko 0604807164 sawubona
MXO
shoput
kamanja
right mfethu siyaphila
ayinguradu mntamela yeah just two quick questions ku-ATM. One sicela ukwazi ukuthi ithini i-foreign and economic policy ye-ATM. Two, ngabe i-ATM iyawungabaza yini umsebenzi wabantu abafana njengoDumisa Nsebenza no-judge esigabeni akade bepanel ekade review ukusebenza kwa-public protest.
Sure. Kulungile kuzwakala sabonga kakhulu baba. President, phosa kwena.
Masibulele for the questions. Eyokuqala i-corruption okanye inkohlakalo kuma courts lana kufuneka sazi ukuba ma ucriticize iparliament, the members of parliament uphinda ucriticize okanye scrutinize the executive, yonke lonto it's allowed, it's part of democracy. However inkinga ekhoyo ukuba mawukhuluma about judge which are human beings bona kuqala ubavesi bengathi u-anti-judiciary okanye akwazi uhlonipha inqumo yenkantolo, but benzocela ukuthi ubaba with the situation akhona anayo, if mhlambi kuvumelekile at the end of the show singayinikeza ama contact details zethu so that sikwazi ukulalela, sikwazi ukubona ukuthi singasiza njani na. Eyesibili into ye-education system, sifuna thina education system efundisa abantu ukuba bazenzele their own businesses instead of education system enza ukuthi abantu bafune imisebenzi mincane ayikwazi accommodate wonke umuntu. Sifuna thina i-education system ikwazi ukukhuluma with the current needs the economy, awukwazi ufundisa the very same education system ka 1990 because kungo 2021 kunama opportunities ohlukile manje, and loma opportunities kufuneka ingane zifundiswe from primary, and ku education system there needs to be investment kwindawo ezihluphekayo emalokishini plus emakhaya, because asifuna education system ezimbili yabantu abanemali nabantu abahluphekile. The tender system, zikhona izinto that can be insourced zenziwe lana. For example, ukuzulungisa indlela afuneka kube khona i-tender system lapho for ezinye izinto that are basic. Apa what we are going to do as the ATM is to insource some of the functions, but for ezinye izinto ezi-complicated ezithatha isikhathi ezi-complex ngempela, kulapho ke ngoku we have to think about usebenzisa the tendering system. ATM were visible kuzo zonke municipalities. However, besizocela umsakazi ma evuma later on sizoshiya our Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp numbers so that abantu mabefuna bakwazi usicontact. Eyogcina the two questions of the economic policy. Lana economic policy CATM, we want number one, kube khona iningi labantu base South Africa abaparticipatayo in the economy. That is why sikhuluma about putting South Africans first, makuparticipate abantu balana South Africa kuqala before you can allow for abanye abantu abaqhamuka from outside of South Africa. Eyesibili into, our the goods ezikhoyo, ama product akhoyo kuwo wonke itolo ekhoyo must be majority to be goods that are produced lana locally, in the sense that asikwazi uba nama products, umzekelo ube ne toothpaste, ube ne toothpick, ube ne comb, ube ne kama that is produced in China, because the more we do that we are creating jobs for China. However, that is why tina ATM sizo intervene to say the way we are going to create jobs is going to make sure, for example, lana eThekwini, we are going to say nazi, let's say 50 to 100 products that all shops must buy from ama factory that are produced lana local, especially the basic products ezisizithengayo from a day-to-day basis. Eyogcina into about public protector, it clear into ka public protector ukuthi wenza umsebenzi okahle. The only issue laba bantu banamandla are using whatever processes including parliament as a process of trying to get rid of umuntu oyivezayo inkohlakalo, because public protector kufika ama complaint kuyena investigate those complaints, and because she was truthful and honest wakwazi ubonakalisa, for example, ukuthi ubaba uRamaphosa unemali eningi ayitholile from ama private interest, and la mali le, because he was a deputy president, a member of parliament, meaning he was supposed to declare, he did not declare, meaning lo muntu lona uphule umthetho. So because yena public protector ukhulume iqiniso, that is why bengamfuni. That is why thina ATM sisithi makavikelwe umvikeli wabantu kuba wenza umsebenzi omhle kakhulu.
Uthe umbuzo, as the ATM, are you undermining in umsebenzi wamajaji behleli kuleya panel?
We are not undermining. The issue esinayo yi process, because firstly iparliament has got umthetho ethi you can't discuss, you can't do anything whereas there are pending court cases. Lana ngo June, the public protector is in court to challenge the very same rules or the very same process that appointed these judges ukuba mzenzele report yazo. So for those judges to sit for those judges to issue a report, debate to parliament, it is parliament itself that is undermining its own rules. So ATM asoze support into that undermines the rules of parliament.
Nifanda ubani?
Sifandwa ngabantu. Sinabantu abaningi uzokhumbula umsakazo ukuthi ATM yenziwe isikakhulu ngabantu besonto. Abantu besonto bajwayele ukudonate, ukunikela esontweni. That is why bona nje mangilana ngijabula kakhulu because eParliament whether ngenza interview ngikhuluma exactly ngifunwa ngabantu. Akunababa omhlophe mazomane siza kumina athi hey ndoda suyikhuluma into ethize oyikhuluma into ethize. That is why Tina were free, were independent. It is because we're funded by ordinary citizens.
Ave mhlambe le act le I think izoqala ngomhla ka1 April, I'm not sure. Ave mhlambe ke icindezela kakhulu ama political parties lawa nama followers amaningi. For an example, EFF, ANC, IFP o Democratic Alliance kanjalo ngoba labo bantu vele basethubeni elihle ekutheni kube yibona abawina ukhetho.
Lana La act ikhulula abantu base South Africa from ukuqanjelwa amanga by political parties ezizofika zicampaign zithi votelani thina sizokwenza 1 2 3 mathi mabefika in office batshelwe ngamafanda what to do. So lena act it is something otuma ibheke in the interest of abantu, not in the interest of a political party ekhohlisa abantu.
Okay, so nithi asibona ama statements ekutheni ubani ofandile kanjalo
kuba umuntu okufandayo une influence kuwena lana uyifumzeke. That is why inkohlakalo will always be there as long as kunama private funders.
Okay, nina malini na ku account?
Angikwazi ukutshela man kangibheke ibank statement.
Phela ngithi kuvulelekile so
bona ngitsasa mangivuka
phela kube open
angibhekanga ibank statement mhlawumbe ngakhe ngimfonela uTG ngimbuze eTG ngicela usheshe ukhawuleze ubheke.
But so imapha ama projects enwenza kakhulu yazi ke ngale mali le enikwazi ukuthi nithole kuyena ke uhulumeni.
Lana sinama project amaningi asiza umphakathi. eBergville sakhe indlu, eMpumalanga sakhe indlu, eEastern Cape ngicabanga ukuthi sakhe izindlu ezimbini, eCholobeni sadonate ngama water tanks, sithathe ingane ezingakwazi ufunda sasa esikolweni, sasiza ngabameli some students beziboshwa because they were fighting for safety in their own institution. So ama project ethu amaningi it is to uplift communities because inkolo yethu ukuthi we are servants of the people. Masifika thina in governance we must always sense izinto that will benefit abantu. So umuntu mayibheka our Facebook page uzobona wonke umsebenzi. Njengamanje masiphuma lana siyo donate 200 school shoes kwi primary school ekhoyo lana. So that is why ATM
ni selecte kanjani?
Siselecte kanjani? Sicele the institution isikolo sona to identify ezona students zisokolayo ezihluphekayo. Thina selectanga ngokwethu sikhulume with isikolo sathi isikolo we've got 200 school shoes.
Isikole sona selectwe kanjani?
Isikolo no siyabheka la ezizikolo that are in poor communities. Asikhona umzekelo ukuya kwisikole semhlanga but sizokwazi uidentify isikole esithize in poor communities. Kulapho sizokwazi ufikelela khona because we identify ukuthi kune problem enkulu in those communities.
Sinenkinga yokuthi njengamanje abantu abaningi baphelelwe imisebenzi. Ngikhuluma nje nawe kunabantu abangenako ukudla, right, abangazi bazophuma bayipi abalalele njengamanje. So iATM ingakwazi ukuthi ithi njomane mina njengopresident weATM ngiyazicommit ekutheni abalali bezwi Lomzansi mhlawumbe abawu10 noma abawu20 ngizoba supporter mhlawumbe ngama voucher emali engaka.
Ubaba uphakathi ilungu leParliament lalana kwisifundazwe seKZN uyayenza lokho lana eKZN, focusing on eKZN. Nam personally ngayenza eEastern Cape, ngayenza eGauteng, nabantu abathize eMpumalanga because ngoko-organization ngisebenze kakhulu. So but that is why sisisho ukuthi masinikeza ama details ethu abantu bazokhalela kuthini ukuthi badinga into yokudla. Kulapho sizokwazi ukubheka because we've got limited resources and into singafuna uyenza thina siATM sibheke kakhulu abantu baqanjelwe amanga kakhulu. Angifuni ukukhuluma la ngithi hayi si-ATM sizonikeza wonke umuntu into yokudla singayenzi because sizobe siphula inhliziyo zabantu. That is why sizothi thina abantu mabasho apha kuthi ukuthi badinga ini. Ukuba siyakhona uku-assista sizo-assista, ukuba sikhona uku-assista sizosho ukuthi amandla asinawo.
Kulungile, no asibambela ngenxa yaso ke isikhathi. Ngiyazi ukuthi maningi ama issues abantu abesafisa ke ukuphawula ke ngawo esike kungu 5 minutes before 9. So sithola kanjani i-ATM?
Ku Facebook sine Facebook page ethi African Transformation Movement. On Twitter it is @AT Movement. Ku WhatsApp sine national line apho umuntu angathumela i-voice note, i-message. Inamba ngo 073 387 4934 073 387 4934.
All right, no sebonga kakhulu. Last question. Maningi lembuzo. Last question. Ningahlangana yini neqembu thizeni?
Ukusebenzisana namaqembu it is something esi-encourageayo because lana we must always put the interests zabantu phambili. Ukuba kunento lana esikhulumayo nelinye iqembu siyavumelana ngayo yonke lonto
ACDP
noba leliphi iqembu, as long as lonto isihlanganisayo is going to benefit abantu, that thing must be always supported.
I-ACDP angithi kusho njengamanje ngasho ngithi eParliament shuthi kunamaqembu amabili athi sisekelo sawo amakholo, inina ne-ACDP.
I-ACDP it is African Christian Democratic Party, ifocusa ubuKristu kuphela, whereas thina si-ATM sithi si faith based organization. Ukhona umahluko between a Christian based and a faith based. I-faith based ibhekana nazo zonke inkolo, izangoma, i-Muslim, Buddhist, zonke inkolo yes, that is why singafuna ukuziconfine to amaKristu kuphela. Sisithi asiba represent abanye abantu abanqula uNkulunkulu. Sifuna ukuthi ukuba wena because South Africans ngabantu aba-spiritual, so spirituality is not limited to Christianity.
No, I know kulungile, siyabonga kakhulu. Asibamba uhlelo lethu. Zondo from President wayoke i-ATM uVuyo Zungula. Siyabonga kakhulu, ngingadinwa ke nangomusa.
Siyabonga kakhulu baba.
Thank you so much. Umsakazo wakhe Izwi Lomzansi 98.0 FM Izolo Mehluko.